The Senate Committee on Finance has taken a key step in Nigeria's fiscal planning by engaging top federal government officials on the 2026-28 medium-term expenditure framework and the fiscal strategy paper. The three-year fiscal blueprint, which aligns with the provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, is expected to guide the preparation of future annual budgets. The interactive session brought together key ministries, departments and agencies involved in budget formulation and implementation. At a briefing, the lawmakers, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, outlined the progress made so far, while senators expressed concerns over delays in implementing the capital component of the 2024-25 Appropriation Act. In response, Edun assured the committee that full funding for the capital component of 2024 budget has been secured and released. He also disclosed that about 30% of the capital allocation in the 2025 budget is currently available for implementation. To strengthen the revenue generation, the minister revealed that the federal government has issued circulars to all MDAs mandating a revenue optimization program for 2026. He added that the initiative emphasizes automation and the use of technology, with all payments required to be processed through digital platforms to enhance efficiency, transparency, and revenue collection.
So since 2025 budget has been enacted as a law, not until that is either amended or repealed. And when you say you are taking it over, we assume that you are taking exactly what is in the act to now create the next Appropriation Act. So we need that explanation. Then just take note, Honorable Minister, Senator Goje.
What is making it impossible for you to implement the budget? Because Appropriation Act is a law related to each year, which you must comply with. Since you have the money, there's no request you have made to this Senate that has not been given to you, and we adopt as a rubber stamp. So what is your problem? Why are you rolling over budget of 2025 to 2026 instead of extension? 70%. Why are you rolling it over?
And there's nothing wrong, like you said, and I agree with you absolutely, that it will amount to waste if you start a project and you pay 30% of that project, and in the next budget, that project is not captured, money already spent on it is as good as thrown away. So the logic of continuing, I understand, but the language of rollover, I do not. So I think I understand you to mean, and that should be the case, that never again should we implement more than one budget.
When we look at borrowing, we have roughly 152 trillion naira outstanding. And that figure was about 70 trillion naira in 2023 or so. But what accounts for the difference? 30 trillion, as we all know, was the bringing into the light, bringing into the books of the government of ways and means that were previously just ignored and kept outside. Another 50 trillion was accounted for by the fact that the exchange rate doubled. I mean, central bank in its monetary policy focused on clearing backlogs and bringing in foreign reserves, and we know how successful they have been. So of 152 trillion naira, 80 was essentially not new borrowing, it was more regularization and adjustment. The issue of capital. Right now, funding is fully available for the 2024 capital budget that has been finalized and is in the gateway up to September. Funding is available for a portion, and the other portion, the plan is to roll it over to 2026 budget. Likewise, for the 2025 capital budget, funding has been made, warrants have been issued, and funding is available for 30% of that budget, with the plan, with the cooperation and the support of the National Assembly to roll over the 75%.
All mentioned here today that we have 2024, we are in 2025, but you have 1 year revenue. Use it to manage 2-year budget. So even if you met the 1 year revenue, how will you hear the Honorable Minister say, I'm paying 2024, whereas you are taking 2025 revenue to pay 2024. So when Mr. President said, when we said, because as of the work we've all done, that we've met revenue target, which is annually, but you are using 1 year revenue to manage more than 1 year budget. That is why you are seeing the outstanding, and which is what Honorable Minister is trying to do. That now let's have a consolidated budget. So because if I have 1 year revenue, let me use it to manage 1 year expenditure. But in a situation that I have a year revenue to manage multi-years revenue expenditure, we will continue to have this imbalance.
Macroeconomic reforms, some of the measures we have taken have implications that were not immediately obvious. The impact of the 22.7 trillion naira securitization is still being felt in terms of interest costs, particularly rising interest costs. But more importantly, not only rising interest costs, almost the inability to go to the central bank when we have demand beyond the legal limits. So